4 of us. She was juggling 4 of us. Incredible. I almost have to admire the skill.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. I just needed the money to survive. I didn't mean to hurt anyone.
You know that
Zainab, I don't
feeling when
understand.
your whole life
Are you
flashes
involved with
before
all
your
these men?
eyes? That moment when time slows down
I gave
and you
you
realize
everything.
you're
A home, a
absolutely,
car, money, respect.
completely,
And this is how you repay me?
catastrophically screwed. I'm sitting at Jade Gardens in Victoria Island, Lagos. It's a Friday night. The restaurant is packed with Lagos elite. Soft jazz is playing. The air smells like expensive perfume and grilled prawns. And I'm watching as all 4 of my sugar daddies walk through the same entrance at the same time. I'm talking about Chief Adeleke, the oil magnate who just bought me a Range Rover, Uncle Femi, the banker who pays my rent in Lekki, Oga Tunde, the politician who handles my international trips, and Mr. Chukwuma, the real estate developer who thinks I'm a graduate student he's sponsoring. They're all here in the same restaurant, and they're all looking for me. My name is Zainab, and this is the story of how I became the most ambitious and most foolish runs girl in Lagos, and how one night of cosmic bad luck brought my entire empire crashing down in the most spectacular way possible. But to understand how I ended up in this nightmare, we need to go back 6 months earlier to when I was just another broke 23-year-old girl trying to survive in Lagos. But before I start, please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. This will keep me encouraged. Also, comment below. Let me know which part of the world my amazing friends are watching from. Enjoy! Lagos will humble you. It doesn't matter who you were back in your village or your hometown. This city will chew you up and spit you out if you're not careful. I moved here from Ibadan with dreams. Big dreams. I had my national diploma in business administration. I had ambition. I had confidence. What I didn't have was connections or money or a realistic understanding of how expensive life in Lagos actually is. My first apartment was a single room in Surulere. And when I say single room, I mean a space so small that I could literally touch both walls if I stretched out my arms. The ceiling leaked when it rained, the toilet was shared with 7 other people, and my neighbor, a woman who sold fish and dried the stockfish on her balcony, the smell was unholy. I was working as a sales girl at a boutique in Ikeja. My salary was 60,000 naira a month. 60,000 naira in Lagos, Nigeria. Let me break that down for you. My rent was 40,000. Transport was 15,000 minimum because Lagos traffic means you are always taking emergency Ubers when you are late. Food, toiletries, data, the random bills that pop up because this is Nigeria and nothing is ever straightforward. I was drowning. But the worst part, the constant reminder of what I didn't have. Every day, I watched women my age or younger step out of Range Rovers. I watched them pay for items worth hundreds of thousands without even blinking. I watched them live the life I desperately wanted. And I was tired. Tired of struggling. Tired of pretending to my family back home that I was doing fine. Tired of eating rice and stew for 14 days straight because that's all I could afford. That's when I met Chief Adeleke. It was a random Thursday afternoon. I was at the boutique rearranging displays and trying to look busy so my boss wouldn't find something for me. A black Mercedes G-Wagon pulled up outside. Not unusual for Ikeja City Mall. But when the man stepped out, everyone noticed. Chief Adeleke was probably in his mid-50s. Stocky build, that kind of round belly that screams money and good living. He wore a traditional agbada, white and pristine, with gold accessories that caught the light. His aura screamed wealth, old money, power. He walked into the boutique looking for something for his daughter. His daughter, who was probably my age, maybe older. He was polite, respectful. He had this calm energy, like someone who had seen everything and was no longer impressed by anything. I helped him choose a handbag. A Gucci bag worth 370,000 naira. He paid in cash. just pulled out a wad of 1,000 naira notes like it was tissue paper. Before he left, he looked at me and said, "You are very helpful. What's your name?" "Zainab, sir." He smiled. "You remind me of someone. Intelligent, beautiful, respectful." He paused. "I'd like to take you to dinner sometime. Nothing inappropriate, just conversation. You seem like a smart girl, and I enjoy intelligent company." I should have said no. I should have been suspicious. But I looked at that G-Wagon. I thought about my leaking ceiling. I thought about the 60,000 naira that disappeared before the month even began. I said yes. Dinner with Chief Adeleke was at Ocean Basket in Victoria Island. He was a perfect gentleman. We talked about business, about Lagos, about life. He asked me about my dreams. I told him I wanted to go back to school, get my degree, maybe start a business someday. He listened, really listened. Not like most men who just wait for you to stop talking so they can talk about themselves. At the end of the night, he handed me an envelope. "Small gift," he said, "for being such wonderful company." Inside was 200,000 naira. 200,000 naira for having dinner and conversation. More than 3 months of my salary, just sitting there in crisp notes. That night changed everything. Chief didn't ask for anything physical immediately. He took his time. More dinners, gifts, a new phone, money for emergencies that weren't really emergencies. He was grooming me and I knew it. But I also knew what this was. This was a transaction. And in Lagos, everybody has transactions. When things finally became physical, it was almost expected. And honestly, it wasn't terrible. Chief was considerate. He made sure I was comfortable. It wasn't love, but it wasn't traumatic either. It was business. Within 2 months, Chief had moved me to a better apartment in Yaba. 1 bedroom, my own bathroom. Heaven. He gave me a monthly allowance of 250,000 naira, plus random gifts, plus shopping money, plus I was living a completely different life. But here's the thing about getting a taste of money. It's never enough. 250,000 naira sounds amazing until you realize that's still not enough to live the full Lagos big girl life. Not when you see girls driving their own cars, not when you see them traveling to Dubai every other month. I wanted more. And that's when I made the decision that would eventually lead to my downfall. I decided one sugar daddy wasn't enough. I needed a portfolio. Sugar daddy number 2 was Uncle Femi. I met him at a lounge in Lekki. I'd gone there with my friend Bisola, another girl who was in the game. Uncle Femi was there with his boys, all of them bankers, all of them married, all of them looking for side chicks. Uncle Femi was different from Chief, younger, early 40s, fitness obsessed. He had that banker swag, designer everything, always smelling like expensive cologne, very concerned about appearances. He approached me directly, no games. "I like your vibe, let's talk." We exchanged numbers. Within a week, we were intimate. Within 2 weeks, he was paying my rent in Lekki, a proper apartment in Lekki Phase 1. 600,000 naira a year, paid up front. Uncle Femi's thing was that he wanted to feel young. He wanted a girl who could match his energy. Club appearances, beach hangouts. He wanted arm candy, basically. Someone to make his friends jealous. And I played the role perfectly. The arrangement was clear. He'd handle my accommodation, give me about 150,000 naira monthly for upkeep. In exchange, I'd be available most weekends, go out with him, make him look good, and of course, the physical part. Now I had 2 sugar daddies, Chief Adeleke during the week, Uncle Femi on weekends. Different days, different areas of Lagos, no overlap. I had a system, a schedule, color-coded calendar on my phone. It was almost professional. But I was still not satisfied. Sugar daddy number 3 was Oga Tunde, the politician. This one I met at a wedding in Ikoyi, one of those society weddings where everyone who is someone shows up. I was there with Uncle Femi actually, but Oga Tunde noticed me. Politicians are a different breed. They have money, yes, but more than that, they have influence, power, access to things money alone can't buy. Oga Tunde was in his 60s, distinguished looking, always in traditional wear, always surrounded by aides and security, the kind of man who walks into a room and everyone stands up. He sent someone to collect my number. A few days later, I received a call from an unknown number. "This is Honorable Tunde. I'd like to see you." With Oga Tunde, everything was transactional from day one. No pretense of romance or companionship. He was very clear. "I like you. I want you available when I need you. I'll take care of you well, very well." And he did. Oga Tunde gave me access to things I'd only dreamed about. First-class tickets to London, to Dubai, shopping trips abroad, introduction to high society events. He gave me a monthly allowance of 400,000 naira. The catch? I had to be available on very short notice. Sometimes he'd call at 2 in the morning. "Babe, I need to see you tomorrow. We're traveling to Abuja," and I'd have to drop everything and go. But the money was too good to refuse, so I became even more organized, even more careful with scheduling. I had 3 different lives now, 3 different identities almost. The sophisticated companion for Chief, the party girl for Uncle Femi, the elegant mistress for Oga Tunde. And then I got greedy. Mr. Chukwuma was a mistake from the beginning, but by this point I was addicted to the game, addicted to the juggling act, addicted to proving to myself that I could manage it all. I met him at a real estate expo. He was one of the exhibitors. Young for a big man, maybe late 30s, self-made. He'd built his wealth from nothing, and you could tell he still had that hunger, that drive. Mr. Chukwuma was looking for something different. He didn't want a party girl or arm candy. He wanted to feel like a mentor, like he was helping someone achieve their dreams. So I lied. I told him I was a graduate student at the University of Lagos, studying for my master's, working part-time to support myself, struggling but determined. He ate it up. He said, "I was once like you. I know what it's like to hustle in this city. Let me help you." He offered to sponsor me, pay my school fees, which didn't exist because I wasn't actually in school, give me monthly stipend for books and living expenses. In exchange, he just wanted companionship, someone to talk to, someone who reminded him of his younger, hungrier self. Of course, it eventually became physical. They always do. But Mr. Chukwuma was the most emotionally invested of all of them. He genuinely believed he was investing in my future. He introduced me to his business associates, gave me advice, wanted to be part of my success story. The guilt was real. But so was the 200,000 naira he gave me monthly, so I kept up the lie. By this point, I was making over 1 million naira a month, plus gifts, plus travel, plus shopping. I had transformed completely. I moved to a luxury apartment in Lekki Phase 1. I had a car, a Mercedes-Benz C-Class that Chief Adeleke had bought for me, registered in his company name, of course, but still. I had designer bags, designer shoes, hair always done, nails always fresh, skin glowing. I was living the dream. My friends from Ibadan couldn't believe it. My family thought I'd gotten some amazing job. I posted carefully curated photos on Instagram. Never too much, just enough to show I was doing well. My following grew. Brands started reaching out for influencer collaborations. I was becoming somebody. But managing 4 sugar daddies is like having 4 full-time jobs. The scheduling alone was a nightmare. I had to remember details about each of them, their preferences, their schedules, their friends, their families. One wrong move, one slip of the tongue, and everything would collapse. I had close calls, so many close calls, like the time Chief Adeleke wanted to take me to an event, and Uncle Femi had already planned a trip to Calabar that same weekend. Or when Oga Tunde called me to Abuja, but Mr. Chukwuma had surprised me with tickets to a play in Lagos. I became a master of excuses. Family emergency, sick relative, work commitment for my non-existent job. I lied so much, I sometimes forgot what was true. My friend Bisola warned me, "Zainab, you're playing with fire. 4 of them, that's too many. Something will go wrong." But I was arrogant. I thought I was smarter than everyone else. I thought I had it all figured out. Until that Friday night, when cosmic forces decided to humble me. It started innocently enough for Oga Tunde. He called me on Thursday. Babe, I want to take you somewhere special tomorrow night. Jade Gardens, 8 p.m. Wear something stunning. Jade Gardens was this upscale Asian restaurant in Victoria Island. Very exclusive, very expensive, very much a place where Lagos big boys took their side chicks. I confirmed, put it in my calendar, started planning my outfit. Then, on Friday morning, Mr. Chukwuma called. Zainab, I want to celebrate you completing your semester. Let's have dinner tomorrow. Jade Gardens, I've made reservations for 8 p.m. My heart stopped. Same restaurant, same time. But I stayed calm. Mr. Chukwuma, thank you so much, but I actually have a family thing tomorrow night. Can we do Saturday instead? He was disappointed, but understood. Crisis averted. Or so I thought.
Friday afternoon, Uncle Femi sent a text. Babe, let's do dinner tonight. Feel like Japanese. Jade Gardens at 8? Now I was panicking. But Uncle Femi was flexible. I told him I had cramps. Period pain. He backed off immediately. Men never argue with period excuses. I should have known something was wrong. 3 different men choosing the same restaurant, same night. But I was so focused on preventing overlaps that I didn't see the bigger picture. I arrived at Jade Gardens at 7:45 p.m. Wore a stunning emerald green dress, hair in soft curls, makeup perfect. I looked like money. Oga Tunde driver had dropped me off. The plan was to have dinner, then go to his hotel suite at Echo Hotel. Standard protocol. The restaurant was packed. Friday night in Lagos. Everyone who's anything goes out on Friday. I was led to a private booth in the back, upscale, discreet, perfect for a politician and his side chick. Oga Tunde arrived 10 minutes later, dressed in traditional attire, smelling like expensive oud. He greeted me with a kiss on the cheek. We ordered drinks, settled in. Everything was perfect. Until I saw Chief Adeleke walk in. He was with business associates, 3 men, all of them big names in Lagos. They were being led to the main dining area. Not close to where I was sitting, thank God, but close enough that if he turned his head, he'd see me. I felt my palms start sweating. My heart was racing. I casually turned my face away, pretending to look at something on my phone. Are you okay? Oga Tunde asked. Yes, just checking something. I needed to leave. But how do you leave a dinner date 5 minutes after it started without raising suspicion? I was trying to formulate an excuse when Uncle Femi walked in. Uncle Femi, who I told I was on my period, who had accepted my excuse without question. He walked in with a woman I didn't recognize. They were laughing, clearly on a date. I should have been relieved. He was with someone else. He wouldn't notice me. But the restaurant suddenly felt very small. Too small for 3 sugar daddies. I excused myself to the bathroom. Needed to breathe. Needed to think. Maybe I could fake a call. An emergency. Something to get me out of there before this turned into a disaster. I was in the bathroom, staring at myself in the mirror, trying to calm down, when I heard a commotion outside. Loud voices, someone shouting, not aggressive, more like surprise. I walked out slowly, my entire body tense. And that's when I saw him, Mr. Chukwuma, walking into the restaurant. Mr. Chukwuma, who I told I had a family thing, who had accepted my excuse. He was there at Jade Gardens. 4 sugar daddies, same restaurant, same night. I stood frozen in the hallway between the bathroom and the main dining area. My brain short-circuited. Fight or flight kicked in. I chose flight. I turned around, ready to literally run out the back exit when I heard my name.
Zainab! It was Mr. Chukwuma. He'd seen me. He was walking toward me, smiling, confused. Zainab, what are you doing here? I thought you had a family thing. My mouth opened. No words came out. I looked like a fish gasping for air. And then Chief Adeleke appeared. He'd finished with his business associates and was heading to the bathroom. He saw me, saw Mr. Chukwuma talking to me. Zainab, Chief's voice was different, suspicious. Do you know this man? Mr. Chukwuma turned. You know Zainab too? The universe was punishing me. I was sure of it. This wasn't coincidence. This was divine intervention. God saying, you thought you were smart? Watch this. Uncle Femi noticed the commotion, walked over. Zainab, I thought you were... He stopped, looked at Chief, looked at Mr. Chukwuma. Recognition dawned on his face. And then, like a scene from a Nollywood movie, Oga Tunde's security came looking for me because I'd been gone too long. They found me surrounded by 3 men, all of them looking confused, all of them starting to piece things together. Oga Tunde himself came out, saw the group. His expression changed from concern to understanding, cold understanding. We all stood there, 4 men, 1 me, in the middle of Jade Gardens, with the entire restaurant watching. The silence was deafening. Chief Adeleke spoke first. His voice was quiet, controlled, the kind of quiet that's more terrifying than shouting. Gentlemen, I believe we all know this young lady. Perhaps we should step outside. It wasn't a suggestion, it was a command, and when Chief Adeleke commands, people obey. We moved to the parking lot, me and 4 very angry, very humiliated men. Oga Tunde's security kept other people away. Private conversation. Though I'm sure the restaurant staff and guests were watching through windows, phones out, recording everything. Mr. Chukwuma spoke first. He looked hurt, more hurt than angry. Zainab, I don't understand. Are you involved with all these men? I opened my mouth, closed it. What could I possibly say? What lie would work now? The truth was staring all of us in the face. Uncle Femi laughed, bitter, harsh laughter. 4 of us. She was managing 4 of us. Incredible. I almost have to admire the skill. Chief Adeleke didn't laugh. He just looked at me. I gave you everything, a home, money, respect, and this is how you repay me? Oga Tunde leaned close. His voice was ice. If I ever see you again, if you ever try to contact me, if you ever mention my name to anyone, you will regret it. Do you understand? Fear replaced embarrassment. Oga Tunde wasn't making idle threats. Politicians in Lagos don't make idle threats. I finally found my voice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I needed the money. I needed to survive. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. Didn't mean to hurt anyone? Mr. Chukwuma's voice cracked. I was investing in you. I believed in you. I thought I was helping you build a future. I'm sorry. It was all I could say. I'm sorry. Over and over, like a broken record. Chief Adeleke shook his head. The apartment in Yaba, the car, everything. I want it all back. You have 1 week to move out. Uncle Femi nodded. The Lekki apartment too. I'll be terminating that lease. Mr. Chukwuma just walked away. Didn't say another word. Just got in his car and drove off. Somehow, that hurt more than the anger. And then I was alone. Parking lot, humiliated, embarrassed, and sold out future. This wasn't how I wanted to end my school life. Not like this. I nodded. Tears were streaming down my face now. Makeup ruined, designer dress suddenly feeling like a costume. They all left, one by one. Left me standing in the parking lot of Jade Gardens, alone, humiliated, destroyed. The video went viral. Of course it did. This is Lagos. Everyone knows everyone. Within hours, a carefully edited clip was circulating on WhatsApp, Twitter, and Instagram. Lagos runs girl caught with 4 sugar daddies at once, the Jade Gardens scandal. My face was everywhere. My Instagram was flooded with comments, insults, mockery, moral judgments from people who were doing the exact same thing or worse. I became a cautionary tale. Pastors used my story as sermon illustrations. Relationship bloggers analyzed what I did wrong. I was the main topic of conversation in Lagos for weeks. Within that week, I lost everything. The apartments, the car, the designer items that actually belonged to the men. My bank account, which had seemed so healthy, suddenly looked pathetically small. All those clothes and bags, most had to be sold. Emergency cash. Survival. I moved back to Surulere, back to a small room. Not the exact same one, but just as depressing, just as humbling. My family found out, of course. My mother called, crying, asking where she went wrong. My father didn't even want to speak to me. Siblings were embarrassed. Cousins deleted me on social media. I lost my friend too. Bisola, the one person who understood, distanced herself. You're toxic now, babe. I can't be associated with you. It's bad for my business. The girls I used to party with blocked me. No one wanted to be seen with the girl who got caught. I was bad luck, bad energy, a walking, breathing reminder that the lifestyle we were all living could collapse at any moment. I fell into depression, real depression. Days where I couldn't get out of bed, couldn't eat, couldn't see the point of anything. I'd gone from the top to the bottom so fast. One night, one restaurant, total destruction. I thought about giving up. I thought about a lot of dark things during those weeks. But slowly, very slowly, something shifted. I got a job, a real job, at a call center in Ikeja. The pay was 75,000 naira a month, less than what any single sugar daddy used to give me. But it was honest. It was mine, earned through actual work, not through lies and manipulation. It was humbling, going from luxury apartments to a room in Surulere, from designer bags to managing a tight budget again, from being driven around Lagos to taking danfos and kekes, from being somebody to being nobody. But here's what I learned. That lifestyle I was living, it wasn't real. It was a performance, a role I was playing, and I'd become so consumed by the performance that I'd forgotten who I actually was. Zainab from Ibadan, a girl who was smart, resourceful, hardworking, a girl who didn't need 4 sugar daddies to validate her worth. I started facing my reality. I wasn't a victim. I made choices. Bad choices, maybe, but mine nonetheless. I chose to date multiple men. I chose to lie. I chose to build an empire on deception. And when it collapsed, I had no one to blame but myself. The social media mockery eventually died down. Lagos moves fast. New scandals replace old ones. Within a few months, I was old news, forgotten, which was exactly what I needed. I enrolled back in school, properly this time, using my own money, taking evening classes while working during the day. It was exhausting, but it was real progress, real achievement, not bought with someone else's money or facilitated by someone else's connections. I reconnected with my family, slowly. It took time, a lot of apologies, a lot of proving that I'd changed. But eventually, my mother forgave me. My siblings started talking to me again. My father, well, he's still working on it, but there's hope. 6 months after the Jade Gardens disaster, I was at the same call center, still grinding, still rebuilding, still learning to be content with less. And then Mr. Chukwuma walked in. He was there for a business meeting with the company owner. We made eye contact. I froze. Memories of that night came flooding back. The humiliation, the hurt in his eyes, the disappointment. I expected him to ignore me, to pretend he didn't know me, but he walked over. Zainab. Mr. Chukwuma. Silence. Uncomfortable. Heavy. Then he said something I didn't expect. Here you're back in school, working an honest job. Yes, sir, I am. He nodded. Good. That's good. More silence. I was hurt, very hurt. Not because of the money. I can make money. But because I believed in you. I thought I was helping someone who genuinely wanted to change their life. Tears welled up in my eyes. I know. I'm sorry. I was lost. I thought money was the answer to everything. I thought I was being smart, but I was just being foolish. He studied me for a long moment. Then he said, everyone makes mistakes, Zainab. The question is, do you learn from them?
I'm trying to, sir, every day. He handed me his business card. When you finish your degree, properly this time, call me. I might have an internship position available. Paid, legitimate, no strings attached. I looked at the card, then at him. Why would you help me after what I did? He smiled, sad but genuine. Because I still believe people can change. And because I think you've learnt your lesson. The hard way, but you've learnt. He walked away, left me standing there, card in hand, tears streaming down my face. But this time, they weren't tears of shame. They were tears of redemption, maybe, hope, possibility. Lagos will teach you, one way or another. You can learn the easy way, or you can learn the hard way. I chose the hard way. I'm not proud of what I did, dating 4 sugar daddies, lying to them, building my life on deception. It was wrong, morally, ethically, every way you look at it. But I'm also not entirely ashamed because that experience taught me more about myself, about life, about value and self-worth than any book or sermon ever could. I learned that shortcuts don't work, that lies always catch up with you, that real success, real fulfillment comes from building something genuine, even if it takes longer and is harder. I learned that I'm stronger than I thought, that I can survive losing everything and still get back up, that rock bottom isn't the end, it's just another beginning. And I learned that in Lagos, in this city that chews people up and spits them out, the only way to truly make it is to be authentic, to build real relationships, to create real value, to be someone people can trust. The 4 sugar daddies, I never heard from 3 of them again. Chief Adeleke, Uncle Femi, Oga Tunde. They moved on to other girls, I'm sure, younger, more careful, girls who learned from my mistake. But Mr. Chukwuma, he kept his word. When I graduated 2 years later, I called him. He gave me that internship and eventually a full-time position. No romantic relationship, no funny business, just a mentor who believed in second chances. Today, I run my own small business, event planning, legitimate, legal, built from the ground up with my own hands and mind. I'm not rich. I'm not living in Lekki Phase 1. I don't drive a Range Rover. But I'm free. Free from lies. Free from the constant anxiety of managing multiple lives. Free from the fear of being discovered. Free to just be Zainab. Flawed, learning, growing, authentic. And you know what? That's worth more than all the sugar daddies in Lagos combined. So yes, I dated 4 sugar daddies at once, until they all showed up to the same restaurant, and it destroyed my life. But in destroying my life, it also saved it, gave me a chance to rebuild, properly this time, on solid ground. Lagos will humble you, but if you let it, Lagos will also teach you. And the lesson is simple. Be yourself. Build something real, because everything else, it's just a house of cards waiting to collapse. Trust me, I learned that lesson in the most spectacular way possible on a Friday night at Jade Gardens when my whole world came crashing down.